Good morning to all of you out there. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and today is October 4, 2021. It's a Monday, and mapapansin nyo dito po sa Lipa City, medyo makulimlim, umuulan po. Please expect that if you are residing in Mindanao, Visayas, and Southern Luzon, that you will be experiencing rains all day or showers because there is a low pressure area affecting the weather in those parts of the country. So, today we begin our program with a story, and the story has to do with our daily starter. Aba, ganado si Arbica. Pinasok agad. Okay. Our daily starter is, I am the Lord, that is my name. I will not give my glory to anyone else nor share my praise with carved idols. Ngayon, you will probably be wondering, nagtataka kayo, anong pinagmumulan nito? The election process for the 2022 presidential and national local elections has formally started because last Friday the COMELEC started receiving the certificates of candidacy. Now, it is also the right time to remind many people to be careful, particularly those who are in the habit of being endorsers. Maliban sa hinahunting na ng BIR, yung mga online endorsers, as they say, na hindi nagbabayad ng taxes. I correct you there, no? I correct myself there. Right, this is the season when there are a lot of people or a number of celebrities who will be tested or tempted to endorse a candidate. And it reminds me of a story of someone I know who one day I saw his face on billboards. I saw his name on product ads, and nagtaka ko. I said to myself, this person is not a user of the product, and I know that he does not have a business related to the use of this product. And as truth in advertising dictates, if we endorse products, we should at the very least be very familiar with the product. We should hopefully be using the product or know the person we are endorsing and know the person's platform. So if you know nothing about the product or the person, you have no business lending your reputation or your glory or your popularity to those things. Sabi nga ni God, yung mga idols. Kasi maraming politiko, tawag ng tao, idol. Diba? Okay. But anyway, the verse that we are quoting today is relative to all those endorsements. Kasi sabi nga ni Lord, bakit ko ibibigay? Ba't ko ihahati? Bakit ko i-share dito sa mga hindi naman Diyos? Diba? So, it is a warning to many because may mga managers, business managers, lalo na ng mga ilang artista dyan, na they say, it is our right to earn a living. Trabaho lang. Yung kaibigan ko nga yun, that person whose face and whose name I saw on billboards and advertisements, he admitted to me and said, Kuyang, huwag ko nang maingay, trabaho lang to. I need to make money. So okay lang, pero that's the problem there. When you lend your name, your reputation to politicians, to products, imagine, ano kaya ang pakiramdam ngayon nung ilang mga taong naging endorser ng politicians who they discovered were bad people? What is the feeling or how do some product endorsers feel who endorse yung mga pre-need plan, yung mga educational plan, only to discover later that the company they worked with and endorsed the products run off with the money of parents who invested on educational plan, on life insurance or medical plans. So let this be a lesson to everybody. As the Lord pointed out, in fact, si Saint Paul, okay, the Apostle Paul, said in 2 Corinthians, if I am not mistaken, yeah, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, do not be yoked together with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? So, wag po kayong sasama o papanig or align yourself or endorse products or people that you know are not representative of your own values, your beliefs, and your own standards. Because in the end, baka magaya kayo dun sa mga ilang endorsers in many elections past who discovered that when they endorsed a politician or a product, and the politician or the product became a politician or product from hell, they discovered that their careers became coterminous with those politicians. Ika nga, naglaho yung kasikatan ng ilang mga sikat na artista, singer, or mga celebrity dahil yung kanilang sinabayan, pinanigan, wala palang kakwenta-kwentang tao. So, ayan, nila, binibigay ko na yan sa inyo, okay? So, that's our daily starter for the day. Do not be, the Lord will not share His glory, neither should you with the unrighteous. Okay, now let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star and find out what the news is. Okay, medyo it was a seemingly peaceful weekend because the only big news, okay, was good news. COVID cases in the National Capital Region and 8 other areas dropped according to the Okta Research Group. Bumaba na raw, malaki ang ibinaba ng mga kaso ng COVID cases in the National Capital Region and 8 other areas. Okay, kasama na dyan yung mga probinsya, Bulacan, Batangas, Cavite, Laguna, Pampanga, and Rizal, as well as Metro Cebu. At the top or the header of the Philippine Star, business groups urge cooperation in Senate probe. Okay, marami-rami pong business group yan. At least 20, based on what I'm reading here, at least 20 major business groups, universities, and even church group has made a call, a statement, put out a statement to all those who have been invited or are involved in the Senate investigation on the health sector anomaly. So, ayan po. No, now, below that header, you have a photo. Ito naman po ang problema. Makikita nyo yung picture na yan. Ayan na. Bumaba na nga yung number of cases. The number of cases have gone down, but the number of pasaways are still up. That is that is photographic evidence of children, young people, and they are mostly, interestingly, mostly young adults, mga teenagers, dinagsa yung Manila Bay sa likuran ng Philippine Senate and have gone swimming. So, I don't know how this has happened considering that the Luneta Park and that area behind the Philippine Senate, medyo napapatrolan niya ng mga lespo. Bakit ganyan? Anong sigurado? I am sure that the PCP commander masisibak because of that photograph. Meanwhile, Vice President Robredo will decide whether she is running for president before October 8. So that is between today and Friday. Okay? Rumor has it that mas malamang daw tumakbo siya as governor, but that is from some other sources. What's interesting here, and I'm not being critical or opinionating, I just noticed that why is it that when it comes to the Robredo camp, it is always the spokesperson who is making the announcement, not the candidate. As far as the weather goes, I already mentioned to you, LPA brings rains over Visayas and Mindanao. And then COVID-19 tally, ayan po, makikita nyo naman dyan. Uulanin kayo sa Visayas at Mindanao. And for the COVID-19 tally of Philippine cases, ayun pa rin, 13,273 over the weekend. Deaths, 112. So medyo tumaas. Di ko lang alam kung yan ay Saturday, Sunday. But I remember last week it went down to 94. Now it's back up to 112 people passing away because of COVID-19. Now, as far as politics again is concerned, old news, new news, old news, PDP laban sa Secretary Cusi, Wing expels Pacquiao for filing his certificate of candidacy under PDP laban. Kasi parang wala kang karapatang mag-file kasi hindi ikaw ang aming presidential candidate. The problem is, if you were to present this before the COMELEC, okay, who is the presidential candidate of the PDP laban? Kasi sabi ni Bongo, ayoko, vice president lang ang gusto ko. Sabi ni PRRD, ayoko na. So, ayan po. Speaking of ayoko na, Rodi's retirement paves the way for Sara's presidential bid. Ito na yung mga pasakalye, the preparatory statement. No less than President Duterte has cleared the way for his daughter, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, to run for president. According to Deputy Speaker Bernadette Herrera, again, a spokesperson for the hugpong para kay Sara. Okay, so ayan na naman. Ang nagsasalita, yung spokesperson, well, trabaho nila, pero yung kandidata, yung mga kandidata, a woman has the right to change her mind or keep her card. Sabi nga nila, okay. Last but not the least, 1.8 million Pfizer vaccine doses, vaccine doses donated by the United States has arrived. Okay, dokie. Dumating na, nag-arrive na. So that's about 900,000 vaccine kasi you need two shots. So 1.8 million divided by 2, 900,000. Okay, dokie. So ayun po, no? Ayun po yung mangyayari o nangyari over the weekend. Okay, now while we are waiting for our special guest today, okay, kasi alam niyo po, we have a special guest today, and I guess it would be safe to already do the pasakali. Pero wala pa raw. Okay, so anyway, over the weekend, I'll just make kwento until because our guest today, scheduled guest, is our first presidential candidate guest in the 2022 election. Okay, kasi siya po unang nag-anunsyo, siya po ang una nating may interview na presidential candidate. Pero hindi ko lang po alam kung may establish natin ang koneksyon because hindi pa raw nakakapasok, none other than Senator Panfilo Lacson. And we are thankful that Senator Lacson agreed to have this interview kasi truth be told, pakiramdam ko allergic si Senator Lacson sa akin kasi pasaway daw ako. Nagkatampuhan na nga kami ng mamang to. But, I've always been asked what would be the expectation for a presidential candidate. And I have always replied that it is a matter of continuity. Continuity of the good. So, kung a-analyze nyo po yung administration ni President Duterte, ano ba yung masasabi niyong good? Teka, wag kayo ng mga adelantado o mga advance, no? Hindi pa ako nakakapagtapos din eh. Pero kasi iba dyan sasabihin, meron bang good dyan sa Duterte administration? Well, why was he voted into office? Honestly, many people voted for Rodrigo Duterte because of the perceived political will. Yung bang walang pake kung ano ang sasabihin ng tao, ng gobyerno, basta he will do what he felt was necessary, which is how he ran Davao. He exercised political will, dealt with the NPAs, dealt with the drug dealers, etc., etc., and which is why he gained national prominence. Hindi naman siya sumikat dahil pinayaman niya ang Davao. Kasi ang nagpapayaman po, the people who prosper or progress a city, a country, or a province are not necessarily the elected officials. It is still, at the end of the day, those who choose to engage in business, the investors, yung mga tumataya, pumupusta, who create jobs, who set up businesses, etc. The role of the elected officials is to create, develop the environment, the legislation, the policies that make it easy, safer, and profitable for investors. So, as far as the Duterte administration is concerned, yun yung inaasahan ng mga bumoto sa kanya. They voted him for his perceived political will, especially in contrast to the previous administration who was very, how would you call it, they were very careful. Okay? They took their time, they were very intentional regarding what they were doing. So yung mga Pilipinong walang pasensya o naghihirap na o naubos ng oras, they went to Duterte. So now, papasok ang eleksyon. Sino ngayon ang ikakampanya mo? Some people will say, well, ano ba yung magaling? May political will. Okay? Matapang daw, okay? Pagkatas mahigpit. Okay, because truth be told, before Duterte came in, talagang wala. We were a nation in chaos and blanketed by criminality. Ang daming kidnap for ransom, may mga terrorists, may mga drug pusher, may mga mga taxi na hihiluhin yung babae, tas re-rapin, etc. It was chaotic. So, if you're to choose a new leader now, people will probably say, I want someone with political will. I want someone who is tough on crime, who is pro-business, etc. So, yun. Pero alam niyo po, that's just one part. Continuity of the good things or the perceived beneficial policies or positions, and at the same time, a rejection of the bad things. Ano yung rejection of the bad things? The rejection of the bad things is siguro, and hindi na po ako hingi ng dispensa kasi marami naman talaga nagsasabi. In fact, even the DOJ is now thoroughly studying, if I'm not mistaken, ano ba yung nabasa ko din 154 police officers ang iniimbestigahan ngayon ng Department of Justice for drug-related killings. Hindi ko po sinasabi ito yung encounters or shooting, hindi, killings, okay? So, if that is the case, then it follows na you don't want a continuation of this extrajudicial killing regardless of who is responsible or how it happened. Kasi alam nyo po, may kwento ko eh. Total, wala pa naman si Senator Lacson. Abisuhan nyo na lang ako, Arvic. No? I have a personal story. Hindi naman ito malupit na kwento, pero it brings home the message. One time, I was working on an island. We were building a resort, okay? And we needed to put up a lookout point. Kasi alam niyo doon sa Palawan, puro isla, tawiran niya ng mga bangka. Hindi mo alam kung yung tumatawid. Back in the days, this was in the late 80s, early 90s. Eh, hindi mo sigurado kung yung dumadaan doon sa tapat ng isla ay fisherman, kung NPA o kaya ay mga kriminal. So we were clearing and putting up a lookout point, and I said to my team, yung mga retirado bang jobless na mga Marines, Philippine Marines, yung mga natalo kasi tumawag daw ng mga imported yung si Cory Aquino doon sa kanilang EDSA coup. Okay, anyway, sabi ko doon sa mga ex-Marines na nagtatrabaho, sabi ko, okay guys, clear the area. And ako naman, bumaba na ako. Sabi ko, I have other work to do. So, I called a technical sergeant. Sabi ko, clear the area. Okay, yes sir. So, bumaba na ako. Pagdating ko dun sa baba, nung hill, bigla nakakita ako, umuusok yung ibabaw. Sabi ko, anak nang, anong ginagawa nitong mga tao to? Takbo po ako. I ran all the way to the top of the hill. And then, when I got to the top of the hill, I'm sorry, I have to be honest, I have to tell the truth. Talagang sinigawan ko yung technical sergeant. Ano ginagawa niyo? What the hell are you doing here? I said, clear the area. I did not said, burn the area. Sir, sorry sir, pero in the Marines, when you say clear the area, we burn the area. This is true story, no? Now, I'm sure our friends in the Philippine Marine will say, Cito, that's an exaggeration, that guy was lying, etc. Whatever the case may be, the point I'm making is, alam niyo po, when a chief of when the boss, when the leader, the team leader, the commanding chief, commander in the chief, or whoever, gives out an order, and it trickles down, pagdating niyan doon sa baba, iba na ang interpretation. Truth be told, I even heard of a story, well, actually, hindi po ito kwento. Talagang nilapit sa akin, okay? Ng isang police officer down in the lower echelons who was in a quandary. May dilemma siya. Sabi ko, ano problema mo? Sir, kasi hinahanapan kami. Anong hinahanapan? May quota kami, sir. Ano? Hinihingan kayo ng pera? Hindi, sir. Hinahanapan kami ng kill score. What do you mean? Well, the campaign is to kill all of these drug dealers. Ayun na po ang naging problema. Okay, kumbaga pagdating doon sa baba, iba na yung usapan. And when I looked into it a little more, it became apparent na hindi naman po ito common sa PNP dahil meron naman ako mga naging kamag-anak sa PNP, and matitino sila, no? And what happened was, apparently some people saw it as an advantage for promotion. Kumbaga, iniba na yung letter of instruction. Panahon ni Marcos yan, diyan na uso yan yung letter of instruction. May letter na, black and white na, pero pagdating sa baba, sa field, wala nang black and white, hindi na po uso yung papel doon sa open. Kumbaga, verbal na lang, salita na lang. Nadinig nyo yung sinabi ni Presidente, nadinig nyo yung sabi ni General, kailangan ubusin natin daw lahat ng mga drug dealer dito sa Pilipinas. Ayun, kanya po nangyari yun. So anyway, rejection of EJK. Uh, okay, sige. So the rejection of the EJK, pagkatapos siguro wag nang ipagpatuloy yung ika nga the animosity, the conflict, the strain between the Senate, Congress, etc. Anyway, we can go for a gap if you don't mind, and we're still fixing our connections with Senator Ping Lacson. We'll be right back after a few minutes. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Cignal TV, channels 8 and 250. And you can also watch us via facebook.com/OneNewsPH and also on YouTube by looking for or search One News PH. You can also download the Signal Play app and you can watch us on the go. Thank you very much to PLDT. Nako, kinukulam yata ako. You can subscribe to PLDT, hindi watch po, no? Subscribe to PLDT online, fiber optic home internet kasi yan po ang dahilan kung bakit we have managed to stay consistent. Kahapon nga, I had a visitor, a politician. I've had actually a lot of, marami. I've had a couple of politicians or politicians representative come over and consult, talk, sounding board. Dahil alam naman nyo po tayo, dahil tayo ay nag-i-interview, tayo po ay nakikinig na lang. And after a while, I give them my opinion. Okay, so if you're wondering, Sito, why have you spent nearly well, almost half the program doing a monologue. I'm so sorry, but we were really scheduled to have Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson, and sabi po ng kanyang staff, mukhang madaling araw nang nakauwi at nakatulog. medyo ano raw po, this is the reality of TV programs such as mine. This is not the first time. I've had two particular incidents like this in another show I did for ANC, and ganyan din po nangyari. Kumbaga nangalahati na yung programa, wala pa yung bisita. So anyway, just so to add further variety, let's bring in, hindi naman para lang, no, parang remedyo, kasi talagang gusto nating malaman. We want to find out what's happening in the filing of COCs. We have our friend, correspondent Greg Gregorio. Greg, nasan ka at anong ginagawa mo dyan, Greg?
Christians. Nandito tayo ngayon sa Harvard sa Sofitel. This is before for vice presidency, 24 for 24 senatorial aspirants, and then 38 for party list. The COC file.
Okay, it is just one of those days, and I will simply smile. Greg, I think we're going to have to reconnect with you because your signal just hung there. Alam niyo po kasi yung kinalalagyan ni Greg ay doon po yan sa gilid ng Sofitel, yung dating plaza ba yun? Philippine Plaza. And nandun po yan sa tagiliran ng Sofitel, malapit dun sa pool, and yan ang problema pag puro bakal, semento, etc. Let's try it again. Okay, one more time if you will, and if not, well, tuloy po ang filing ng COC, Certificate of Candidacy, and marami pong technique. There's a lot of techniques that's being applied. Some people I know, some politicians I know, have already filled up all of the documents, signed the documents, etc. But they will not submit it until the last day or the last hour. Bakit kanyo? What they are trying to figure out is how strong are their chances, how weak or how strong are their opponents, and will they be able to get the necessary promises or financial commitment from certain investors, businessmen, or fund sources. Kasi alam nyo po, merong mga magpapile today. Ang alam ko, 2 weeks ago, if not 3 weeks ago, bumisita na sa ilang big businessmen. Okay? And they had solicited, if according to a politician I know, they had solicited 2 million pesos just to start up this process of the filing of announcements, getting lawyers, an office, etc. So, ayun po, no, yung kasi dito sa Pilipinas, it's not like in other countries where you have political parties who have actual offices, because it's long-term. It's a long-term ongoing process. Kumbaga, the Republicans have a headquarters, the Democrats have a headquarters. Here, it is the residence of Senator so-and-so, the residence of Congressman so-and-so, etc. Let's try Greg Gregorio ulit at the Sofitel. Greg, how is it?
Yes, Cito, good morning. This is the fourth day of the COC filing here in Harbor Garden tent in Sofitel Hotel in Pasay City. And since the first day of the COC filing, we have seen 8 presidential aspirants already, 4 for vice presidency, 24 senatorial aspirants, as well as 38 who have filed their CONA for party lists. Kabubukas lang Sito ng ika-4 na araw ng COC filing, at ngayon wala pa tayong nakikitang mga bagong magpa-file pa ng kanilang CONA o Certificate of Candidacy. Dito sa lugar na kinalulugaran ko ngayon, nasa likod ko yung briefing area kung saan yung mga kung saan yung mga kumakandidato o naghahangad na kumandidato para sa 2022 elections ay nagbibigay ng kani-kanilang pahayag at sumasagot ng ilang mga katanungan sa media. Maybe as the day go along, we could give more updates here in the fourth day of the COC filing. Sito?
Okay, Greg, if you would, could you just give us a rundown of who those 8 presidential aspirants are? Because from what I understand, si Isko Moreno is going to file today along with his VP, Doc Willie Ong. Pero nauna na si Manny Pacquiao and sino pa? So, who are the presidential candidates na nag-file na and who are the vice presidentials?
Yes, Sito, first to file a certificate of candidacy for president was actually Senator Manny Pacquiao last Friday or last October 1. He was with his running mate, for Vice President Congressman Lito Atienza. Apart from Senator Manny Pacquiao, yung iba pang nagpa-file ng kanilang COC for president ay sina Dave Aguila, Joey Montemayor, Ley Ordenes, Edmundo Rubi, Laurencio Jun Hulaga, at Victoriano Inte, at yung pangwalo kahapon sito ay si Tiburcio Marcos. Sa Vice President naman ay aapat pa lamang. Una na nga yung si Representative Lito Atienza, sinundan ni Rochelle David. Itong si Rochelle David ay isang independent. At pangatlo naman na nag-file for Vice President ay si Alexander Lage, at ang ikaapat ay si Senator Christopher Bongo na nag-file ng kanyang COC noong Sabado na sinamahan pa mismo ni Pangulong Duterte. Sito?
Okay, matanong ko lang, sino ang presidential candidate ni Bongo?
Sito, wala pang malinaw kung sino ang magiging presidential candidate ni Bongo dahil wala pa rin idinedeklarang standard bearer ng Kusi faction ng PDP Laban na siya ring naging party list, political party na binanggit ni Senator Bongo sa kanyang COC. Sito?
Okay, now, Greg, I hope you can give me the few minutes. Kasi you mentioned, of the 8 candidates that you mentioned for president who have filed their certificates, I only know of one who is actually politically recognized, which is Manny Pacquiao. How about the 7 who have filed? Are they simply nuisance candidates or are they switch and slide candidates? Kumbaga parang yung nangyari kay President Duterte noon, pumasok si Asek Dino, and then at the last minute he went out and was replaced by President Duterte, but they were both members of a political party. What about these 7 new names? Are any of them actual members of any legitimate political party?
Sito, based on their filed certificate of candidacies, only 2 out of these 7 others who have filed certificate of candidacy for president are belonging to a political party. Most have filed their COC as independent. Ang isang nag-file na may political party ay itong si Joey Montemayor, who actually said sa kanyang COC na he's part of Democratic Party of the Philippines, at yung isa pa ay si Laurencio Jun Hulaga na bahagi daw ng Philippine Green Republican Party, and the rest are independent. Sito?
Okay, they claim to have a party, but are those parties really political parties recognized by the COMELEC? Pasensya ka na, Greg, ha? Talagang, alam mo, ang tinutumbo ko kasi dito, bro, medyo this is either a political process or the greatest circus in the world.
Yes, Sito, naunawaan natin yan dahil alam naman natin noong 2016 elections, ito ngang si Martin Dino na ngayon ay undersecretary ng DILG ay siyang nag-file ng kanyang certificate of candidacy back then, which later on became a spot for a substitution and naging dahilan para makakandidato sa pagkapangulo ang ngayon Pangulo natin na si Pangulong Duterte. we're also closely looking into the possibilities of this kind of incident sa nagaganap na COC filing ngayon. But based on the procedures of the COMELEC, yung uh, yung uh, um, possibility for substitution come after maibuo yung tentative list of candidates as well as yung certified list of nominees at the end of October, at yung substitution naman ay magaganap hanggang sa kalagitnaan ng Nobyembre pa, Sito.
Yeah, November 15 is the last day for anyone to decide whether they are in or out. Now, nabanggit mo, Greg, yung sa
Mhm.
ano, yung sa vice presidential, kasi you mentioned someone with named Marcos. Did you? I don't want to put you in the spot, Greg. No, alam ko it's already hard enough being there, trying to get information and trying to stay away from getting COVID. But yung sa mga presidential, yung sa mga presidential, ay vice presidential, sino yung Marcos na nag-file?
Sito, yun yung nag-file kahapon. Let me just get back to the list. Siya si
No
Tiburcio
problem.
Marcos. Siya ay si Tiburcio Marcos na nag-file ng kanyang COC kahapon ng tanghali. Pero batay sa listahan ng COMELEC na ayon din sa COC na kanyang final, siya ay independent. Yun nga lang, wala pa tayong nakuhang karagdagan pang mga impormasyon dahil hindi pa nag-release ng kopya ng COC yung COMELEC dahil na rin sa pagsunod nagiging maingat kaugnay ng data privacy law. Si Sito?
Yeah, okay. So you have a Tiburcio Marcos running as independent because expert ka na dito, brother, ano? Expert ka na dito, Greg, sa mga ganyang bagay. And alam mo that in the past, in the 1994, 2004, may mga kandidatong pumasok, sabay umatras, at meron din mga kandidatong nagbigay in exchange of in exchange for cash. Alam mo kasi ako may nakaraan ako. May mga nakasama rin ako masasamang tao sa akin nakaraan. So mga nagto-true confession sa akin. But do you see anything suspicious in the nature or in the names that have filed that would indicate na I smell a rotten egg somewhere?
I can't say I can't definitely say kung meron ng rotten egg, pero ang napapansin natin Sito, hindi doon sa presidential mga list of presidential aspirants, but sa senatorial aspirants, meron pang isang nag-file na ang nickname na gamit naman niya ay Jinggoy, habang si dating Jinggoy Estrada ay nag-file din ng kanyang senatorial COC. Ibig sabihin, may mga sa pagkatanda natin sa nakaraang mga COC filing o nakaraang mga eleksyon, nagkakaroon ng issue dito yung hatian ng awareness ng mga botante kung sakaling mailagay itong parehong pangalan ito sa balota dahil baka akalain ng mga boboto yung unang Jinggoy is
Mm.
but then again, ang sinasabi naman ng COMELEC, itong mga pangalan, itong mga nagsumite ng kanilang COC sa nagdaang mga araw, ay hindi pa naman din magiging pinal dahil titingnan pa kung sino dito yung posibleng matukoy bilang nuisance candidate na batay sa description ng COMELEC, yung mga nuisance candidate, yan yung someone who's putting mockery over the election system and just yung walang bona fide intention to run for a certain post in the upcoming 2022 election. Sito?
Okay. Now, kasi mga kaibigan, ladies and gentlemen, what Gregorio is talking about is there are many instances when a person uses a similar name to a long-term politician candidate, and ang mangyayari dyan, hindi lang nuisance, kung mapipilitan yung real candidate o yung long career politician na either settle, go to court, etc., to get rid of that obstacle of someone splitting the votes or misdirecting voters. So yan, kumbaga either magkakakaso-kaso or magkakapera-perahan dyan. Now, you mentioned two guys. One is Senator Jingo Estrada filing for his candidacy. Another guy using the name Jingoy filing for senator. Who are the others?
Uh, First, Sito, yung isa pang Jinggoy na nabanggit ko siya si Nahar Jinggoy Sali ang nag-file siya for senatorial as senatorial aspirant nitong linggo as independent. The other senatorial aspirants na nakapag-file ng kanilang COC ay sina Lutgardo Barbo at merong mga naghahangad ng Senate comeback na sina Representative Lauren Legarda, Sorsogon Governor Cheese Escudero, nag-file din ng COC si Abner Afwang, Bay Maylani Ismael, Norman Marquez, Bertito Del Mundo, si Senator Risa Ontiveros kanyang COC noong Biyernes. She's seeking for re-election. Nag-file din ng COC si Romeo Plasquita, Samuel Sanchez, Baldomero Falcon, at si Phil de los Reyes. At merong ding nag-file na si Siegfried Taps Lord Giron, Agnes Afable, at yun nga si Joel Pastor Apolinario at si dating broadcaster Rafi Tulfo na nag-file din ng kanyang senatorial COC nito namang Sabado. Nag-file din si Loreto Banosan at si dating Senador J. Fiercito, Rodelo Pidoy at si Nahar Jinggoy Sali at si Luz Lalaganda Aquino, pati na rin si dating bahagi ng Ocho Diretso na si Samira Gutok. Nag-file na rin siya ng kanyang COC nitong linggo. Sito?
So, kumbaga, majority of those who filed for senator or filed their candidacy for senator are actually legitimate candidates except maybe for about five na hindi kilala or medyo kailangan mapag-aralan. But did I hear you right when you said that this is not cast in stone, hindi pa naman to pinal because kailangan pang mabuo yung well-established first that they are part of a legitimate, recognized political party, that they have a full slate or a sufficient number of candidates for president, vice president, senator. Pero yung independent ba, kahit walang partido, kasi I remember last election, di ba, naging issue yan. Merong isang abogado, seemingly competent, very well, good speaker, etc., who was dropped by the COMELEC because in their eyes, he did not have the finance, network, or party to mount a proper senatorial campaign.
Sito, natanong natin kay Director James Jimenez na COMELEC spokesperson noong Friday kung yung Commission on Bank ba ay gagamitin na rin basihan para sa posibleng pagdedeklara ng isang aspirant na kung siya ay magiging nuisant batay sa kanyang kakayahan na makapag-launch ng massive campaign since this is a national election which requires a national mobility for his or her candidacy. Pero sabi ni Director James Jimenez, mayroon daw na jurisprudence, isang desisyon ng Korte Suprema na nagsasabing hindi dapat ginagawang basihan yung kapasidad ng isang individual, yung kanyang financial capacity to mount a campaign para siya ay madeklara bilang nuisance candidate. At paglilinaw pa ni Director Jimenez, kung sino man yung makita ng Commission on ng COMELEC na posibleng na potential na isang nuisance candidate ay ipatatawag naman at kung kinakailangan ay magkakaroon pa ng hearing para ipaliwanag yung kanyang side. Sito?
Okay, Greg, thank you very much for your time, for giving us a update there at the Harbor Garden Tents in Sofitel. And pakipadalan mo nga ako ng application. Babasahin ko lang ha. Ikaw talaga, natawa ka na dyan. Babasahin ko lang yung mga application na yan. Thank you very much, Greg. Have a great day. Please take care of yourself. Okay, that's Greg Gregorio, ladies and gentlemen, and we will now go for a quick gap. And I guess what I thought was an answered prayer has I don't know. I just trust the Lord kasi yung ating pong interview with Senator Ping Lacson, scratch na po. Puntahan po. We'll go for a quick break and then we will go to our correspondents instead to give you updates regarding the ongoing election filing of candidacy, certificates of candidacy. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. And at this point, let's bring in another correspondent, TV5 correspondent, Mon Gualvez. He's right outside the Comelec premises. Alamin natin kay Mon. Mon, good morning to you. Okay, wait a minute. Talagang mukhang nagiging technically difficult ang ating araw because yung mga connections out there, buti pa dito sa Lipa, maganda yung aming PLDT connection. In fact, one of the guests I had yesterday who came over, he brought out his Wi-Fi daw. Wi-Fi yung dala raw niya. Ang laki, akala mo, tabo. Yung mga tabo ng langis noong unang panahon. For those of you who may not realize this, many of you are probably using tabo-tabo na merong tabo ganyan na may plastic handle pa. Nung panahon po ng Kuya Sito at nung aming mga ninuno, ang ginagamit naming tabo, dadalawang klase. Yung tabo na biniyak na nyog, okay, the coconut shell, okay, or yung motor oil container. Yes, I know. You kids are probably going, what? That could have been hazardous to your health. Alam nyo, merong value yun. Kita nyo, yung kutis namin, makinis, di ba? Ginagamit naming tabo ay yung tabo ng motor oil. Anyway, okay, just let me know if Mon Gualvez is ready already because alam ninyo, ewan ko ba, bakit ko ba nabanggit yung tabo-tabo sa tuwa ko na sa aliw ko nakalimutan ko na yung point. But it's sad that we were not able to conduct our interview with Senator Ping Lacson, and of course, we will simply have to wait when it is convenient for the good senator because alam niyo po, mahirap talaga yung labanan. Una't una, I mean, I can't fault the president, yung president na, no? Siguro tawa ni Ping Lacson if he was watching that I actually accidentally referred to him as president. Pero, hindi, presidential candidate. Alam niyo po, mahirap yung basta-basta lalabas ka sa isang TV show, sa isang programa, lalo na kung puyat ka, if you are tired, you are sleepless, because chances are, if guys like me, who has a talangka in his head and has a habit of just suddenly thinking of something and asking the question, it may put the candidate in an embarrassing, or let's just say difficult situation. Kasi alam niyo po yung mga concerns for potential presidential candidates. I mean, what are on people's mind? Yesterday, I asked a few people, what are the things on your mind that a presidential candidate should address? And of course, the general response is, well, what's his plan for COVID-19? Are we going to be in lockdown for the next 2 or 4 years or 6 years of the next presidency? That's one. Number two, there is the issue of China. Kasi alam niyo po, if you watched our show with Ka-Orly Mercado, we were talking, and I think it was Professor Torres ba yun, of De La Salle University. We were talking about regional related concerns. What if China attacks Taiwan and you're the sitting president? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to represent Philippine interests, and how will the Philippines relate to the matter, given that we are friends with Taiwan but have diplomatic relations with China. So hindi po basta-basta magpresidente. And then, as you all know, which is top of mind for President Duterte right now, although he doesn't admit it, is the ongoing investigations, anomalies, etc., and the ICC investigation. What if the ICC issues a warrant of arrest? What if the ICC passes judgment 4 years down the road and declares that the president should stand trial in front of the court, or has been sentenced or found guilty, etc.? Will the next president who comes after President Duterte honor the ICC judgments, etc.? Okay. In any case, those are just some of the questions. Ako nga yung mga pinagkakainteresan ko after speaking with Senator Dick Gordon, one of the questions that I would probably be asking other presidential candidates is, what is their plan regarding the development of the entire Philippines on a regional basis? Kasi alam niyo po, one of the failed or abandoned promises of President Rodrigo Duterte is the federal form of government. There were many people who really wanted a federal form of government because it will allow the different provinces, regions to grow without being beholden or held back by the National Capital Region or Imperial Manila. And the problem there is what? The problem is, inabandona. I'm sorry, but I'll call a spade a spade. Inabandona ni President Duterte yung kanyang pinagmamagaling na federal form of government. Those are just some. And of course, there are people who are asking about the divorce bill, asking about gay rights, equality, discrimination, etc. So there are still a lot of questions, and we will be asking those many questions we will be asking in future interviews. Pero doon po sa mga nanonood na presidential candidates, even the staff of Senator Lacson, we are always decent naman. We are polite, and may iba dyan. Sabi, Cito, you're so peddling. There are more ways. I mean, there are more than 9 ways to skin a cat. Okay? I don't skin my guests. I only ask questions. Anyway, let's bring the program to a close and leave you with blessings. blessings that is a commanded blessing from God. Commanded because sabi niya kay Moses, and Moses siya tayo na you bless your people with this. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his face toward you and give you peace. From Numbers 6, verses 24 to 26, I'm Cito Beltran wishing you a great, good, godly week ahead of you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, and always pray. Thank you, and keep it here on One News PH. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.